Welcome back to Manga Mondays, and I wanted to start off with a manga that is a newish one, and one that I just haven't really talked about before. And the one that we're going to talk about this week is Mamayuyu. The story mainly revolves around our two characters, Cornello, who is the hero of the world, and Mamama, who is the demon lord. Now this is significant to the manga because they currently live in an era in which demons and humans actually coexist. The previous hero that was in this world actually brought in an era where demons and humans can live together, and so the roles of Cornello and Mamama are actually irrelevant. And I kind of actually like this dynamic between the main characters because this new era only started about 20 years ago. Specifically 18, but it was around 20 years ago. And Cornello was only a baby around that time, so all he knows about is peace, and he struggles to understand what he is as a hero now that there's nothing to fight and nothing to go against. While Mamama is 38, she was around the time when that whole war was going on and was part of the reason why it ended in the first place, because she was working with the hero at the time in order to end that war. I also just like the fact that off the rip for the manga we have the premise or the overall story of it's going to be Cornello basically trying to understand and find out for himself what it means to be a hero in a world where he doesn't really need to fight. I mean, there is fighting in this, and we'll get to that a bit later, but I like that premise. Though, of course, a magical fantasy show without peace doesn't make sense, and so we introduce Evan as a character who is from another world but is also a hero and has the same hero sigil on his hand like Cornello does. And while he tries to warn the people of the world that, the new demon lord from his world is coming and going to be tracking him down, we end up finding out that Evan himself is also not the nicest person. He's done very bad things in order to benefit his world, despite it not being inhabitable anymore. The best way that I can explain it is think of Evan as a lawful evil character, doing anything he can and doing the worst he can in order to basically uphold the justice. Through this though, Cornello is starting to have at least a basic idea for him what it means to be a hero, and at least the direction he would want to go as a hero. And so he attempts to go against this new demon lord. He does get murked in the end, which is pretty bad, but Evan does basically sacrifice himself in order to save Cornello and give him the chance to be the hero that he wants to, or to be a better hero than Evan was. We actually see this leads him as well to do his first successful heroic act, which is save a demon kid from being bullied by a bunch of human kids, which it does make him feel actually good, and the kid even comes back to give him his gratitude, which solidifies his direction even more. Then while Mamama is giving Cornello basically the rundown of what the previous hero did to sacrifice his life in order to protect people and to make her understand that, I'm only doing this to protect you. I know you want to be a hero, but understand the dangers that come out from it. We see that more creatures are coming as there's like a demon-like dog that starts attacking them. They are saved by another man who's in the military, which actually was a former comrade of Mamama back in the war when they made like a demon allied human coalition. And for Cornello, seeing someone he loves getting hurt like that gives him the final strength he needs to actually go to Central and start training in the military. And that's kind of where I stopped there for the most part in the manga. It's only like 3 chapters into it, but I think I have a pretty good first impression of my thoughts. Right now, I do actually like the direction that the show is going. It seems like we're going in a direction in which Cornello is going to have to fight these different heroes and demons that come from different worlds, and what I'm hoping for the most part is that they're not generic villains who are just going to try to be evil or just have the basic evil tendencies and just become another villain of the week type style thing. And what I am hoping is that we get a wide variety of personalities and moralities. Basically heroes and demons who, there's some demons that might be good, there might be some heroes that are evil, there might be some heroes who come to run away from their own world and to hide out in his, or there's some demons that may want to conquer it, or maybe some demons that even want to help out and feel unappreciated in their own world. Maybe he helps a couple demons find out their own purpose in life, and maybe he challenges some heroes in their own morality. Basically, to simplify everything that I just said, I want to see interactions with Cornello with demons and humans to help him grow his idea of what it means to be a hero, rather than him just fighting and understanding what it means to be a hero through its simplest form. Because right now in the story, Cornello has the idea of heroes supposed to be strong, they're supposed to give everything they can, and what I'm afraid this might lead into is just him fighting a bunch of people and him being like, I just need to be strong stronger, I need to be better, which I think is a core aspect of being a hero, don't get me wrong. You can't really protect people unless you go ahead and you're strong and you're willing to make the sacrifices that you need to in order to protect the people that you want to. But I also feel like there's more to being a hero than just being strong and sacrifices, and rather get deeper with the concept of strength and sacrifices, and get deeper with the idea of being a hero than just being a dude who is strong and willing to fight for others. I do also hope as well that Mamama gets a bit more love and care in the show, and not in the sense of just, being loved by Cornello, but just by the author, giving her more to do and giving her more credit in the show. Because very early on, it feels like they set up Mamama as this character who is fairly weak despite being a demon lord, even though I would assume that a demon lord is a fairly strong character, but they set her up as someone who is just not that powerful. I mean, Cornello is too, but they at least gave him the drive in order to try to do something. So what I'm hoping is A, she gets inspired by Cornello's decision and actually tries to become stronger herself, or B, they just give her own journey that she can go through. Since she was there for the war, she was there to watch the previous hero die, you can work really well off of that concept and her being like, I don't want to see more people get hurt. I have seen people get hurt, I've seen people die who I love, and it's just heartbreaking to see, so I want to get stronger for those people. Again, I get it, it's very early to say such things, and given how the cover looks like on the Shonen Jump app, I would assume they're going to either be together for a while or have their own journeys in which they become stronger together. But it just seems like off the jump, they don't really do much for her, and I would have at least liked something more. I mean, she gets beaten by the dog pretty easily, and I don't know if that was to show how strong other creatures from other worlds are going to be, but to see that dog demon beat up Mamama doesn't really say much, since we didn't see the feats that she did in the war, and she hasn't really done anything significant here. So to me, it just seems like a lowly whatever creature, especially since the previous military partner who used to work with her beat that dog pretty easily. So I don't know where she stands in terms of strength. While I also did enjoy what I read, I will say that there's nothing that has latched me on into wanting to read this story. I could pick this up and be perfectly fine with reading this on like a day off or a day where I have some time, but I'm not dying to figure out what the next story is right now. I feel like it's missing that wonder of speculation, that thing you're looking forward to as you read more and more, and I think for me the closest thing that's gotten to that is the potential of seeing the different demons and heroes that are coming from different worlds. And I will admit, Evan as a first example of that is a really good example. It is a hero that did some very messed up things, but in the sake of trying to save his place, and it still was for naught. Evan is an interesting character. Evan is an interesting thing to explore, and I hope that we do get more of that, but as of right now, it's nothing big, it's nothing that I'm dying to see, and it's nothing that I'm super excited that I'm on the edge of my seat waiting for every single chapter to come out. I am hoping that the more I read, the more it'll hit its stride and be able to have that element and have that story plot that brings me in every week just to see what happens next. And I think right now where I stopped is also just a good place where Cornello has kind of made his decision, Mamama is kind of having to realize that, and we're going to enter the story in which he potentially trains with the military in order to get stronger. So it's not a bad spot, and it's something that I'm interested in, but I hope that as we get further and further, we have that through line that makes it interesting, because the longer we go without it, the worse things could potentially get in terms of interest. But right now, I think it is at a good spot, just something that I hope gets introduced fairly soon. But yeah, let me know what you think of the manga Mamayuyu, and let me know what you think about these last couple of chapters, if you thought that they were interesting or not. Again, I'm starting this up again, so I don't know exactly what mangas to talk about as well. So if you have any opinions of what manga I should talk about next, or what story I should go on about, let me know in the comments below, because I could really use some help on what stories I want to talk about. But with that being said, my name is Mize. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, night, morning, wherever the hell you guys are, and I will see you on the next one. Stay hydrated and have a blessed day.
I'm like so gay.